Okay, D.H. Lawrence, New Year's Eve. There are only two things now, the great black night put out, and this fiery glow, the core, and we, the two ripe pits that are held in store. Listening, the darkness rings as it circulates round our fire. Take off your things, your shoulders, your bruised throat, your breast, your nakedness. This fiery coat, as the darkness flickers and deeps, as the firelight falls and leaps from your feet to your lips. And that is New Year's Eve by D.H. Lawrence. So if you have a poem that you would like to share, by all means, please feel free to do so.
Or Tatan wants to read one.
Say again, Emma.
I said our guest wants to read one.
Yeah, I'll read one here. It's called Burning the New Year. Elmi Shihab Nye, N-Y-E. Letters swallowed themselves in seconds. Notes friends tied to the doorknob. Transparent scarlet paper sizzle like moth wings. Marry the air. So much of any year is flammable. List of vegetables, partial poems, orange swirling flame of days. So little is a stone. Where there was something and suddenly isn't, and absence shouts, celebrates, leaves a space. I begin again with the smallest numbers. Quick dance, shuffle of losses and leaves. Only the things I didn't do crackle after the blazing dies. Burning the Old Year, 1995.
Oh, Ben, did you write that?
No, Shihab Knight wrote that.
If anybody has a poem that they would like to share, by all means, please feel free to do so. You don't have to be a poet. You do have to have a look for the spoken word, or even a song lyric that you might like to read for us.
I can read something.
Okay, Aneka, the mic is yours.
Yes. Don't know why today no one is pasting on local chat. I will still do it.
Oh,
I'm not native English. I'm not native English, and sometimes I may struggle to understand, but I understand Jolly always. I have an issue with British accent to understand, but that's okay. I have for you guys another poem by Mary Oliver. And if you struggle to understand me, you can always look on local chat. It's called Snow Geese. Oh, to love what is lovely and will not last. What a task to ask of anything or anyone, yet it is ours. and not by the century or the year, but by the hours. One foul day I heard above me and above the stink of the wind a sound. I did not know, and my look shot upward. It was a flock of snow geese, winging it faster than the ones we usually see, and being the color of snow catching the sun, so they were in part at least golden. I held my breath as we do sometimes to stop time when something wonderful has touched us, as with a match which is lit and bright but does not hurt in the common way, but delightfully, as if the light were the most serious thing you ever felt. The geese flew on. I have never seen them again. Maybe I will someday somewhere. Maybe I won't. It doesn't matter. What matters is that when I saw them as through the veil, secretly, joyfully, clearly. Thank you guys, and it was this episode Mary Oliver and her poem Snow Geese.
I've just come across a blast from the past.
Blast from the past?
New Year's
Oh.
Day special event at 1 PM. Saban Carter Open Mic Poetry is participating in the Hotel Chelsea Hotel. New Year's Day celebration. Regularly at POS, we meet at the Blue Angel Poetry Dive for an hour open mic. Whether you like to write or read or just listen, we hope to see you there. And that's actually an old one, it's from 2020.
But they're doing it again this year?
They'll be doing something, I don't know what they're planning this year.
Why did I read it?
But it won't be me that's reading it unless Planet's happy.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this is
I have-
called New Year's Day by Saban Carter. There's no decorum in the forum. The form of words is so absurd. You never read a single word that we ever want to be heard. So write a poem in a book and maybe take a second look at the form of what you write on a cold, wet, lonely Saturday night. It's New Year's Day. What more can I say? Life is cold and oh so grey. Don't let the magic slip away on a cold and lonely New Year's Day. My dad used to say, what you do on the first day of the year, you will do for the rest of the year. In one sense, he was right. You breathe and take your breath, and you live one moment to the next. So you dream your dreams and let your dreams take shape. It might take a lifetime to do it right, but when you do, it's out of sight on a cold, dark winter's night. And that was from January the 1st, 2011.
I have one.
Okay, Jola, the mic is yours.
I think this is my last New Year's poem.
Actually, the thing that I read before was a blast from the past.
No, I don't mean my last poem. I mean, this is the last one I have. I looked up Shahab Nye, and the only one I have from her is for Ramadan, and that doesn't come until February. So this is by Helen Hunt Jackson. And yes, Aneka, I'm remembering. There you go. It's called New Year's Morning. Only a night from old to new. Only a night, and so much wrought. The old year's heart all weary grew, but said, the new year rest has brought. The old year hopes its heart laid down, as in a grave, but trusting said, the blossoms of the new year's crown bloom from the ashes of the dead. The old year's heart was full of greed. With selfishness it longed and ached and cried, I have not half I need. My thirst is bitter and unslaked. But to the new year's generous hand all gifts in plenty shall return. True love it shall understand. By all, by all my failures it shall learn. I have been reckless. It shall be quiet and calm and pure of life. I was a slave. It shall go free and find sweet peace. I think that's peace. Where I leave strife. Only a night from old to new. Never a night such changes brought. The old year had its work to do. No New Year miracles are wrought. Always a night from old to new. Night and the healing balm of sleep. Each morn is New Year's morn come true. Morn of a festival to keep. All nights are sacred to make confession and resolve and prayer. All days are sacred days to wake new gladness in the sunny air. Only a night from old to new, only a sleep from night to morn. The new is but the old come true. Each sunrise sees a new year born. Back to you, Sacred.
I can read one if you want.
Auburn.
All right. I was talking to somebody in Australia the other day, and they were talking about they're already having fires down there, uh, which they've been having a lot more of those. So this particular one kind of hit a nerve with me. It's called January Drought by Connor O'Callaghan. It needn't be tender this juncture of the year. A cigarette second guessed from Carter Brush. The wood's parchment is given to crackling asunder the first puff of wind. Yesterday a big sycamore came across First and Hawthorne, and is there yet. Papers say it has to happen, if just as dribs and drabs on the asbestos siding. But tonight is buckets of stars, as hard and dry as dimes. Month's supper things stacks in the sink, tea brews from water stoppered in the bath, and any thirst carry forward is quenched, thinking you, piece by piece, an Xmas gift hidden and found weeks after, the ribbon, the box. I have reservoirs of want enough to freeze many nights over. January Drought by Connor O'Callaghan.
Thank you, Auburn, for sharing that with us. This was one that I wrote in 2008. New Year's Eve. It arrived on a wing and a prayer as I was sitting here in my chair and looking at the screen and thinking of some magazine. But what will 2009 bring? Will I ever dance and sing, or call your name if not in vain? With no more hurt and no more pain. It's cold, it's dark, it's dreary. And will my heart ever see thee? Do I look forward, and I cannot look back? Not a sparrow or a lark, but a robin on its back. With this bird, it still haunts me still. As a callow youth, I took aim and shot the bird just the same. But when I saw what I had done, I threw away that bloody gun. It landed on a post in my backyard. I dropped my sights and taking aim, I shot the bird just the same. Saw it fall, but what was its name? It was not fun to shoot and kill. Could I but turn the clock back, it would be there still. The picture you sent of a small, fragile bird feeding on scraps of sea. Fragile, handled with care, and maybe a life will spare. And that was written and edited on December the 31st. It was written December the 31st, 2009. And edited October the 9th, 2023. And yes, I did shoot a bird on a post. I didn't realise it was a robin. So if you have a poem that you would like to share.
I do.
Okay, Jolie, then. Enjoy.
Saber, your voice dropped out.
Mike is yours. Can you still hear me?
Yes, now I can. It dropped out before.
You don't want me to read that poem again, do you? Because I don't really want to read it again. You got one to read, Jolie, the mic is yours.
I believe she's disappeared for a moment.
Yeah, she'll be back shortly, she's crashed.
Read another one if you want.
Okay. In for a penny. December the 31st, 2011. In for a penny by Sabre. In for a penny, in for a pound, in for the future, where can it be found? In for a lifetime, short or long, maybe you'll hear it when I sing this song. Not wearing my underpants on my head, just acting like a prat when I'm on the ground. Well, this is to break the ice. I'm a poet. And really nice. Well, that's what I think. But I may be wrong. It's more like if you wear a thong. Not sure where this poem is going, so just sing along. It was meant as a joke. I won't read that one, I'll read this one. December the 31st, 2012. Freedom by Sabre. Freedom comes to those that yearn, and life is not like yellow snow, but bitter is all we know. It comes in the passion to be free, and death is not the mantle that we seek, and pain is not the balance for the meek. For those who turn the other cheek, and one of the passions and the pains will know is not lost, it's still refrain. And this poem is deeper than the drifting snow, and as the sod is laid to rest, will the birds of the air make their nest in what was lost but laid to rest by flying low or flying high? Will you know the passions in the sky? The drifting snow will pass away, so will this passionate poet one day. This poem I write in vain, for one who calls my bloody name, and wants to know the way my heart it feels here below. I'll leave that last line there. The way my heart feels here below. That was December the 31st, 2012.
Read one if you wish.
David, Mike, is yours.
All right. Let me do a quick cut and paste on this one. This is from 1939, so it's an older one by a guy named Kenneth Patchen. At the New Year by Kenneth Patchen. In the shape of this night, in the still fall of snow, Father, in all that is cold and tiny, these little birds and children, in everything that moves tonight, the trolleys and the lovers, Father, in the great hush of country, in the ugly noise of our cities. In this deep throw of stars, in those trenches where the dead are, Father, in all the wide land waiting, and in the liners out on the black water, in all that has been said bravely, in all that is mean anywhere in the world, Father, in all that is good and lovely, in every house where sham and hatred are, in the name of those who wait, in the sound of angry voices, Father, before the bells ring, before this little point in time has rushed on, before this clean moment has gone, before this night turns to face sorrow, tomorrow, Father, there is this high singing in the air, forever this sorrowful human face in eternity's window. There are other bells that we would ring, Father, other bells that we would ring. At the New Year by Kenneth Patchen.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Actually, I don't have heard that one before, but thank you for sharing. If you have a poem that you would like to share, by all means, please feel free to do so. You don't have to be a poet. You got one you want to read, Jolie?
I'm crashing again. I'm gonna reboot. I'll be back.
Okay. So if you have a poem that you would like to share, we would love to hear it. You don't have to read poetry if you don't want to, but if you want to read song lyrics, you can.
I have a little poem,
Okay, the mic is yours.
if you're so brave to listen, because this was written by Trisha Finita, and it's probably been several years ago. I kind of forgot that I wrote it down. And it's called I Don't Know. Pixels bent, what can you do? Couldn't have fun if you wanted to. I don't know. What is wrong with you? I don't know. You none so. Can't get in. Something's wrong. Drama queen just doesn't belong. Griefers always seem to wreck the song. I don't know. You none so. Sit in the shade on a faraway shore. It feels so good, I want to have more. Can always be upset, but what's that for? I don't know. You none so.
Very good, Tricia. Thank you.
Thank you, Trish, for sharing that.
Thank
with
you.
us. If you have a poem that you would like to share, by all means, please feel free to do so. You don't have to be a poet. You do have to have a love for the spoken word and a willingness to share. The more you share, the more you'll get out of the event.
I can read something. Meanwhile.
Yeah.
Hello?
The nature
You
of
hear
the
me?
mic.
Okay. Thank you. Well, I was reading Mary Oliver poems. There is another one called The Black Ox by Mary Oliver that I'm going to paste for you on local chat. Did Jolly crash again? She did. Well, back to the poem. Black Ox by Mary Oliver. Okay, not one can write a symphony or a dictionary, or even a letter to an old friend full of remembrance and comfort. Not one can manage a single sound, though the blue jays carp and whistle all day in the branches without the push of the wind. But to tell the truth, after a while, I'm pale with longing, for their thick bodies rackled with vision, and you can't keep me from the woods, from your tonnage of their shoulders and their shining green hairs. Today is a day like any other, 24 hours, a little sunshine, a little rain. Listen, says Ambition, nervously shifting her weight from one boot to another. Why don't you get going? For there I am, in the mossy shadows under the trees, and to tell the truth, I don't want to let go of the risks of idleness. I don't want to sell my life for money. I don't even want to come in out of the rain. And it was Black Ox by Mary Oliver, and welcome back, Jolly, and back to you, Saber.
Thank you.
Joey,
Yes, I can read now if you like.
Yay! The mic is yours.
All right, and this is for Aneka and for Socrates if he's still here.
I can feel it will be Neruda.
You think?
Yeah, but you pasted, I hear you. Oh, you're pasting now. Okay, I let you read, Jolly. Thanks.
This is Cat's Dream by Pablo Neruda. How neatly a cat sleeps. Sleeps with its paws and its posture. Sleeps with its wicked claws and with its unfeeling blood. Sleeps with all the rings, a series of burnt circles which have formed the odd geology of its sand-colored tail. I should like to sleep like a cat, with all the fur of time, with the tongue rough as flint, with the dry sex of fire, and after speaking to no one, stretch myself over the world, over roofs and landscapes, with a passionate desire to hunt the rats in my dreams. I have seen how the cat asleep would undulate, how the night flowed through it like dark water, and at times it was going to fall or possibly plunge into the bare, deserted snowdrifts. Sometimes it grew so much in sleep like a tiger's great-grandfather, and would leap in the darkness over rooftops, clouds, and volcanoes. Sleep, sleep, cat of the night, with Episcopal ceremony and your stone-carved mustache. Take care of all our dreams. Control the obscurity of our slumbering prowess with your relentless heart and the great ruff of your tail. Back to you, Saber.
Thank you, Joe. If anybody has a poem that they would like to share, by all means, please feel free to do so. You don't have to read a poetry to share poetry, but you do have to have a love for the spoken word and a willingness to share. And the more you share, the more you'll get out of the event. Next, reader, please.
Maybe Kali would like to read.
Gally, do you have something you would like to share?
Now she has no choice. Read, sweetie. Still not working. Ah, you poor little thing. Okay, I will read then. I will read something.
Oh.
And well, guys, I didn't read Neruda today, so I will read Neruda now.
Yes, you did. You started with Neruda.
No. Nope. I started with Mary Oliver today.
Yes, you did, Mary Oliver.
That's true. Sabra is the only one listening to my readings. Or Jolly got just so used to Neruda by me that I will read this one, Night on the Island by Pablo Neruda, because I actually never read it in English. Oh, Jolly.
What you
My English so broken.
What you actually said was you had a Neruda, but the Mary Oliver just popped up, so you were going to read that.
Yeah,
See,
exactly.
I listened.
Ah, see, you now remember, okay. Yeah, the Mary Oliver sits today straight in my head, so I keep reading from her. This poem I used to read always in German, I never read it in English, this is my first time. But I think I heard Sabre reading this poem, so I hope I will not do many misspellings. This one is called Night on the Island, Love Sonnet 44 by Pablo Neruda. All night I have slept with you next to the sea on the island. Wild and sweet you were between pleasure and sleep, between fire and water. Perhaps very late our dreams joined, at the top or at the bottom, up above like branches moved by a common wind, down below like red roots that touch. Perhaps your dream drifted from mine, and though the dark sea was seeking me as before, when you did not yet exist, when without sighting you I sailed by your side, and your eyes sought, what now? Bread, wine, love, and anger. I heap up on you because you are the cup that was waiting for the gifts of my life. I have slept with you all night long while the dark earth spins with the living and the dead, and on waking suddenly in the midst of the shadow my arm encircled your waist. Neither night nor sleep could separate us. I have slept with you, and on waking my mouth come from your dream gave me the taste of earth, of sea water, of sea wealth, of the depths of your life, and I received your kiss, moistened by the dawn, as if it came to me from the sea that surround us. And it was Love Sonnet 44 by Pablo Neruda, called Night on the Island. Back to you, Sabr and Jolly.
And it wasn't me that read it. Later.
Yes, it was always you who read it, and you read it
I've
perfectly.
read it.
Jolly read it. Yeah, Jolly. Jolly English is perfect. Mine is just, well, I don't care. I need to learn more. That's why I am reading. Even though it's not my native language. Guys, I can read also in German when you want. Maybe not today.
You're great. You have multi languages. I used to be fluent in Spanish. When I was in high school and college, I even dreamed in Spanish and thought in Spanish sometimes. Really. But I haven't used it in 50 years and it's gone.
It's never gone. I bet if you would start to read a book, or maybe some simple book in Spanish, you would remember. However, was there enough cut poems for Socrates? Because he is always recording this, and then he says there was.
I've got one for him.
Read it, Sabra.
I bet it's Bukowski.
Read it.
The History of One Tough Motherfucker by Charles Bukowski. He came to the door one night, wet, thin, beaten and terrorized, a white, cross-eyed tailor. I took him in and fed him, and he stayed, grew to trust me, until a friend drove up the driveway and ran him over. I took what was left to the vet, who said not much chance. Give him these pills, his backbone is crushed. But it was crushed before and somehow mended. If he lives, he'll never walk. Look at these x-rays. He's been shot. Look here, the pellets are still there. Also, he once had a tail. Somebody put it off. I took the cat back. It was a hot summer, one of the hottest in decades. I put him on the bathroom floor, gave him water and pills. He wouldn't eat. He wouldn't touch the water. I dipped my finger into it and wet his mouth, and I talked to him. I didn't go anywhere. I put in a lot of bathroom time and talked to him and gently touched him. And he looked back at me with those pale blue crossed eyes, and as the days went by he made his first move, dragging himself forward by his front legs. The rear ones wouldn't work. He made it to the litter box, crawled in and over. called Over and In. It was like the trumpet of a possible victory, blowing in that bathroom and into the city. I can relate to that cat. I'd had it bad. Not that bad, but bad enough. One morning he got up, stood up, fell back down, and just looked at me. You can make it, I said to him. He kept trying, getting up, falling down. Finally, he walked a few steps. He was like a drunk. The rear legs just didn't want to do it. And he fell again, rested, then got up. You know the rest. Now he's better than ever. Cross-eyed, almost toothless, but the grace is back, and that look in his eyes never left. And now sometimes I'm interviewed. They want to hear about life and literature, and I get up. I get drunk, hold up my cross-eyed, shot, run over, detailed cat, and I say, look at this. But they don't understand. They say something like you say, you've been influenced by Celine. No. I hold up the cat. By what happens? By things like this, by this, by this. I shake the cat, hold him up in the smoky and drunken light. He relaxes, he knows. It's then that the interview ends, although I'm proud sometimes. When I see the pictures later, and there I am, and there is the cat, and we are photographed together. He too knows it's bullshit, but then somehow it works. That's the history of One Truth, Another Puppet by Charles McCarthy. Next reader, please. Shower Explanations by Rick Rupert. I slid open the shower door, and there are my two cats, looking at me as if to ask, what the hell were you just doing in there? So I explained to them, you know how you two lick each other to get clean. Well, this, I pointed to the shower, is like a giant licking machine. Cleopatra, the older cat, cocked her head, as if to ask me, why don't you get someone to lick you, and you could lick them in return? I thought that's why you brought home Tigger, referring to the younger cat. So I explained to them, I've been trying to get someone like that, but it's not easy for us humans. There is no cat-like understanding that two humans will automatically lick each other when paired up. You cats have it easy. With your, oh, you're another cat. We will now lick each other. We humans don't do that. Cleo cocked her head the other way, as if to reply, well, why don't you lick yourself? I spend most of my day doing that. Why don't you? And I again answered, her head cocked clearly. Cleo, if I could do that, we wouldn't be having this conversation. That's Shower Explanations by Rick Rupert. Does anybody have a poem that they would like to share? Naming of cats, Joey.
Okay, we're gonna really douse
Yeah.
these with cats today. Okay, this is The Naming of Cats by T.S. Eliot from his book of poems, Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats. The naming of cats is a difficult matter. It isn't just one of your holiday games. You may think at first, I'm as mad as a hatter when I tell you a cat must have 3 different names. First of all, there's the name that the family use daily, such as Peter, Augustus, Alonzo, or James, such as Victor or Jonathan, George or Bill Bailey. All of them sensible, everyday names. And there are fancier names if you think they sound sweeter. Some for the gentlemen, some for the dames, such as Plato, Admetus, Electra, Demeter, but all of them sensible, everyday names. But I tell you, a cat needs a name that's particular, a name that's peculiar and more dignified. Else how can he keep up his tail perpendicular, or spread out his whiskers, or cherish his pride? Of names of this kind I can give you a quorum, such as Monkeystrap, Quaxo, or Caricapat, such as Bombalurina, or else Jelly Lorum. Names that never belong to more than one cat. But above and beyond, there's still one name left over, and that is the name you never will guess. The name that no human research can discover, but the cat himself knows and will never confess. When you notice a cat in profound meditation, the reason I tell you is always the same. His mind is engaged in a rapt contemplation of the thought of his name, his ineffable, effin ineffable, deep and inscrutable singular name. Back to you, Saber.
McCavity's a Mystery Cat by T.S. Eliot. McCavity's a mystery cat. He's called the hidden paw, for he's the master criminal who can defy the law. He's the bafflement of Scotland Yard, the flying squad's despair. But when they reach the scene of crime, McCavity's not there. McCavity, there's no one like McCavity. Broken every human law, he breaks the law of gravity. His power of levitation would make a fakir stare. And when you reach the scene of crime, McCavity's not there. You may seek him in the basement, you may look up in the air, but I tell you once and once again, McCavity's not there. McCavity's a ginger cat, he's very tall and thin. You would know him if you saw him, for his eyes are sunken in. His brow is deeply lined with thought, his head is highly domed. His coat is dusty from neglect, his whiskers are uncombed. He sways his head from side to side with movements like a snake, and when you think he's half asleep, he's really wide awake. McCavity, there's no one like McCavity, for he's a fiend in feline shape, a monster of depravity. You may meet him in a by street, you may see him in the square, but when a crime's discovered, then McCavity's not there. He's outwardly respectable, they say he cheats at cards, and his footprints are not found in any file at Scotland Yard. And when the larder's looted, or the jewel case is rifled, or when the milk is missing, or another peak's been stifled, or the greenhouse glass is broken, and the trellis past repair, why there's the wonder of the thing, McCavity's not there. And when the Foreign Office find a treaty's gone astray, or the Admiralty lose some plans and drawings by the way, there may be a scrap of paper in the hall or on the stair, but it's useless to investigate, McCavity's not there. And when the loss has been disclosed, the Secret Service say it must have been McCavity, but he's a mile away. You'll be sure to find him resting or the licking of his thumb, or engaged in doing complicated long division sums. McCavity, there's no one like McCavity. There never was a cat of such deceitfulness and slobberty. He always has an alibi, and one or two pieces. At whatever time the deed took place, McCavity wasn't there. And they say that all the cats whose wicked deeds are widely known. I might mention Mungo Jerry, I might mention Griddlebone, are nothing more than agents for the cat all the time, just controls their operation, the Napoleon of crime.
Oh, can I read a sort of cat poem also?
Yes, you can.
Oh, Socrates will love that.
All right, this is A Little Language. It's by Robert Duncan. And I'm sure all the cat owners out here will say, yeah, I wish that was true. But anyway, I know a little language of my cat. Though Dante says that animals have no need of speech and nature abhors the superfluous, my cat is fluent. He converses when he wants with me. To speak is natural. And whales and wolves I've heard in choral soundings of the sea and air. No harmony and have an eloquence that stirs my mind and heart. They touch the soul. Here, Dante's religion would set man apart, damns the influence of our life from us to build therein its powerhouse. In his animal communication, man is true, immediate, and in immediacy, man is all animal. Senses quicken in the thick of the symphony. Old circuits of animal rapture and alarm, attentions and arousals, in which an identity re-arrives. He hears particular voices among the concert, the slightest rustle in the undertones, rehearsing a nervous aptitude yet to prove his. He sees the flick of significant red within the rushing mass of ruddy wilderness and catches the glow of a green shirt to delight him in the glowing field of green. It speaks to him. And then the arc of the spectrum color speaks to color. The rainbow articulates a promise he remembers, but he imitates in noises that he makes. This speech in every sense, the world surrounding him, he picks up on the fugitive tang of mace amidst the savory mass. And taste in evolution is an everlasting key. There is a pun of sense in what makes sense. Where it may have been, the odor of the announcement that filled the house. He wakes from deepest sleep upon a distant signal and waits, as if crouching, springs to life. Little Language by Robert Duncan.
The last one is called Mafia Cats by Roger McGuff. We're the Mafia Cats, Bugsy, Franco and Tony. We're crazy for pizza with hot pepperoni. We run all the rackets from gambling to vice. On St. Valentine's Day we massacre mice. We always wear shades to show that we're meanies. Big hats and sharp suits and drive Lamborghinis. We're the Mafia Cats, Bugsy, Franco and Tony, with Sicilian wine and cheese macaroni. But we have a secret that if you dare tell, you'll end up with a kitten at the bottom of the well, or covered in concrete and thrown into the deep. But this is one secret you really must keep. We're the Costa Nostra, from the scams and the fiddles. But at home we are Mopsy, Ginger and Piddle. Read one word in your cat lick, okay. That's Mafia Cats by Roger McGuff. And that brings us to the end of the event. Thank you. Stay safe everyone, enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Thanks guys for coming over and for nice event hosting, Jolly and Sabra, and see you in New Year. So I wish you already Happy New Year, and that all your wishes come true.
Thank you too for setting this up. I really appreciate it. Happy New Year and all that.
Thank you all for coming, and I hope that you enjoy a safe and happy New Year. With moderation the key.
I'm just going to stay home. I don't even have to moderate.
Moderation the key, but what about insanity?
A little of that's fun.
Actually, he said, there ain't no sanity clause.
Yes. Oh, I heard that one coming too. Oh,
Groucho Marx, if you must ask who read it, or who said it.
Go to JB's
so,
dog.
so many
Not quite that
punsters
way.
out there.
Oh well.
I hope everyone does have a very nice New Year's when it arrives. So pretty soon. And I don't know about where you are. Over here, in the part of the United States I'm in, fireworks are very, very, very common. And it's like a war. There's explosions everywhere for hours. But
No very
I
good
guess
thing.
I
that's...
love that. I think for me, the louder the better. If I feel it go through my chest, it's a good one. But then, I think of all the animals and all the people with PTSD, and I feel guilty for loving them.
Yeah, my dog hates it. He doesn't like it. And I love it too, but we don't do them. So,
Well,
when...
it's not that we do them. I love the big municipal displays like cities and villages when they do a, a whole group display when it's choreographed
Mm.
and everything. I love those. I used
Oh,
to go
yeah.
to the beach at Coney Island every Friday night when I lived in Brooklyn the last 8 years before I retired. And Coney Island was just like 2 bus stops away. I could almost walk it. I could walk to Brighton Beach, but it was just a little too far to go to Coney Island, so I took the bus. But every Friday night they would have fireworks, and everybody would crowd the boardwalk. It would be full of people, and they'd set off the fireworks after they had a minor league team, baseball team, that played in the stadium there, and the people from the game would all go out and watch the fireworks. It was very cool. I love them, and they were loud.
That's half the fun. The big booms, and if
Mm, yeah.
I go to friends that are closer in town, and they have neighbors, and everybody is setting off these fireworks, and they're really big.
Yeah,
And
see, well, it
so
was.
every direction you look, there's something
Yep.
going on.
I can walk outside my front door here in this apartment building. I'm on the 4th floor, and I can see 8 or 9 different fireworks shows going all at once. It's like they're almost in competition, like you said before. um, when I was growing up, my mother was a nurse, and she used to have the most horrid stories on the 4th of July when she worked the night shift. When she'd get home in the morning, and just terrible, terrible things had happened, and we were not allowed anywhere near fireworks, and fireworks were illegal in New York at the time. And so we were lucky if we got to wave around a sparkler. but we loved the fireworks show that the next town over did, because we could sit on the roof of my next door neighbor, my cousin's garage, and we could sit there and watch them from Fireman's Field, and that was a great show. And
That
they were
sounds
loud.
great.
They were loud, even a mile away. They were loud. But I am going to run because I have to change into some different clothes for the next event. Then I have to change again for different clothes for the next event. Sundays are busy days here. So I'm going
I
to run.
thoroughly, I thoroughly enjoyed the reads. Thank you very much, everyone. This was
Remember, there's Hotel
Very
Chelsea coming up from
Noon.
noon to 1:30. And
okay.
this is, oh, do you know who the reader is this week?
I don't know.
I was going to say we read you, but that's
That's true.
only the 29th and it's the first Sunday. So next week will be we read you. So they may have a reader or not. I don't know. But I have to run. Thank you. Thank you, Aneka. Have a happy new year, everybody.
Happy New Year. Bye bye.
Bye. Have fun. Stay safe. We'll see you later.